Hey guys, so Praise has just had her Hey guys, so Praise has just had her sorry about that. The baby was trying to get up. He's asleep right now. She just went to see to him. But yeah, Praise has just had her, get my rings off, second development check. Shiloh also had his development check today, his first one. Sorry, I'm on live. Yeah, Shiloh passed with flying colours, if you can call it a pass, do you know what I mean? He got the numbers required then, shall we say. Praise, still very low. But the good thing is we are now looking at a referral, which is brilliant. So that's what's going to be done. And it will all get sent to panel. And then she explained to me a bit about panel and what panel is and what they do there. And then from panel, they'll basically decide who is the best organisation, if that's the correct word, to take on Praise's case and go forward with it from there. So yeah, and the great thing is they have got me some additional support, which is brilliant. So yeah, I'll be having someone to come in. I can't remember the name of the actual visit, but it's literally just someone to just come in and chat and just talk about things, because like she said, I'm obviously doing a very great job of looking after my children, but one of the things that I do lack is looking after myself. And to be honest with you, that's been the case for a very, very long time. And some of you may not know this, but it's been very difficult within these four walls, because it's not just Praise who we feel is on the spectrum, but my husband is also going through that diagnosis stage at the minute as well. So it's very difficult. If any of you have a husband, partner, significant other, wife with any type of autism, Asperger's, ADHD, which they think he could also have ADHD, you'll know how difficult it is. Sometimes when we have conversations, it's like I am literally speaking to myself. And in the beginning, before I started to think, this is not the guy that I married, I just notice certain things in the conversation. It's almost like he'd tune out, or he wouldn't really get what I say, or he'd say something and I really didn't get what he said. not just so much miscommunication, it was like he was just different. It's just like his brain was just working differently, which obviously I know now is the case with anybody who has autism. You know, nothing is wrong with them. Their brain just works differently. So yeah, it's been a lot, and I'm tired. And yesterday, which was Sunday, I'm filming this on Monday the 7th of June. Yesterday, I was really stressed. I actually haven't been that stressed in a long time, to the point where I felt like my head was going to explode. And I know that's because I didn't really get a good night's sleep as well, because of the younger two. But to be fair, that was mostly Shiloh. Prayers had a hand in it, but it was mostly Shiloh. So yeah, because he's teething right now. So it's like everything at once, and very little time, if any, for myself. And people have suggested things, but one thing I will tell you when you're suggesting things for me, and I don't mean this to come across rude at all, I welcome your suggestions, I welcome your help. But I was just saying to the lovely lady that left, unless you are living that person's life, you have no idea. And I know that's why it's a suggestion. You're not telling me what to do, but sometimes it can feel that way. And sometimes it can be very, very overwhelming when everyone's got their suggestions. I don't understand why it's so hard for people to just leave me alone. So we had a good talk about that as well, because it just doesn't seem to be happening. You know, when we are young, we're taught to treat people in the way that we want to be treated. We're all taught that. But you know, I had a revelation the other day at age 14, and it came to me that, yeah, that's true, but sometimes you actually have to treat people how they want to be treated, as long as they're not threatening to kill themselves or anything mad like that. Me saying, please leave me alone, and trying to be respectful with it, like, it just comes across so rude. There's not much ways you can say, look, please just leave me alone. I might have to get a t-shirt with it printed on, I don't know. But this is where I am right now. I really am at the place where it's just like, please, because what you need to understand is a person goes through things, and a person, depending on what you've gone through, your life experiences shape you. And with me, that's how I cope. I cope best on my own. So when the lady said to me, would you like a visit from somebody else who is more qualified to do this in the mental health sector, and just basically just sit with you and just talk? Yeah, that's fine. And she even said, are you sure? Like, not pushing anything on you. I just thought because you were opening up to me. And I said, yeah, that's not a problem. We can do that. I'm no stranger to counselling. This is not counselling, but I've been in counselling many times in my life for various different things. And counselling is great. It makes you feel so light. You get everything off your chest. The person is not talking at you all the time, which I think that's what I love so much about counselling. These days when you speak to somebody, you don't get a word in edgeways, because they're telling you what they know, or they're telling you they've been there. And you're like, really? Don't get me wrong, sometimes they have, but sometimes it's like, no, it's not the same situation. So you end up then being the listener when you're the one that needs to get it off your chest, because they're too busy telling you how much they know. So I'm a little bit fed up, probably can tell by this video, but yeah. Having a child on the spectrum is exhausting, and I'm telling you, if I know you personally and you've been through this, I'm sending out my apologies right now, because even though I wasn't one of those people trying to tell you what to do or to run your life, I just didn't understand how difficult it was. Until you are going through it yourself, you do not understand. I was a support worker for almost 2 years for adults and children with autism on many different levels. Some were able to talk, walk, feed themselves. Others couldn't do that. I had to train how to put them in a hoist so that I could wash them. I had to train to tube feed. I was even changing sanitary towels. I've been there, I've done it. Any training you can think of, trust me, I've got the certificate. That does not mean that I know everything. And this is the thing, when people are coming at me and my husband, I work here, I do this, I do that. I've had every autistic training you can probably think of, and still, it's only now, having praise as my daughter, not able to escape it at all, not leaving at 6 to go home, like I used to when I was a support worker. Having it all through the day, having it all through the night. Right now, she's buffing upstairs. I can hear her above the kitchen. It's completely different. I'm not even getting time to switch my mind off. And I guess making these videos is really helping, because yes, it's going to help other people, but it really helps people to understand my feelings respectfully. I'm just really asking people to just be respectful of myself and my husband and my family right now, because what a lot of people don't realise is it also affects the siblings of the autistic person. You know, when I was a support worker, my job was to give, how ironic now, but my job was to give families respite. So they'd bring their kids, or depending on how severely autistic they were, we had a minibus that would come and collect some children. And I would get there for like 8:30 and would clean and would set up, and then the children would start arriving about 9, 9:30ish, and we would just play, take them out. Sometimes I had them in the wheelchair, would have so much different activities, ICT, all different things. Sometimes we'd get people in from the community, DJs, they used to love that. All different things, and then I'd leave at 6 once we've signed everybody off, had a meeting to say how the day went, was there anything we need to be aware of, if anyone had to speak with anyone's parents. Sometimes I'd be on the bus, so I'd be on the bus on the way back taking children home, obviously with the driver. So yeah, it was a great job. It was very, very rewarding. But mentally hard. And at the time, I was suffering with depression. So I was, I had a couple of weeks off. I remember my doctor saying, just take a couple of weeks off. Because when you're in a job like that, you know a lot about these children. And I remember just reading through some notes and getting really upset of some children's history and background, and it was a lot. And I'm also an empath, so I have to be very careful what I take in, what I hear and what I see from other people, because despite me being a loner and really liking my own space, I do love people. And if somebody's hurt you, or you've been through something which is just horrific, and you tell me about it, I carry that. As much as I would like not to, I do. And I've been like that for my young girl. I will literally be wailing. You probably won't see it, but it will affect me. So I do have to be very careful what I assist people with. So in the end, I just thought, no, for my own mental health, I'm going to have to leave, because my daughter was only 2 at the time, my eldest, and mentally I wasn't in the right place. So I just thought, no. But it was a great job. If you're mentally strong enough to do something like that, great job. Really, really good. So yeah, with that being said, I'm kind of waffling now. I've been there, I've done that, I've got the t-shirt. It does not mean I know everything. So please just be respectful wherever your qualifications are. And not all autistic children are the same. So you might have something that will work with a child. It doesn't mean it's going to work with praise. I just feel like I'm stuck in an episode of I don't know, some gym will fix it. Like, I just feel like everyone's trying to fix it. Like, she's not broken. She's not a science experiment. Please, just respectfully asking to just give us a break. Give us the time that we need. Because as a family, it's tough right now. And that's not saying people can't check in. And, you know, even phone calls are a bit much right now, if I'm being honest. I would prefer a text message, because sometimes what happens is my phone wakes up Shiloh. What you need to remember, I've got 2 very young children. They don't always sleep at the same time, obviously. So like right now, Shiloh's asleep. Praise is upstairs, gone down for her nap. I'm trying to get some washing up done. Then I'm going to make dinner so that when the older 2 get in from school, they can eat, everybody can eat. And just try and get ahead of things, ahead of things. Guys, I'm not tired, I can't even speak. And you know what, I'm not editing this video. I'm not editing it out, it is what it is. I want this channel to be so real. The amount of friends that I have with autistic children, and still up until now, I had no idea. It's only just going through everything with Praise now, I'm kind of getting an insight. And I say an insight because I still can't even say to them, now I know what you mean. I can in some aspects, but all autistic children are different. They're all different. It's one of those things where you just need to be in that environment where people are actually living it. And that doesn't mean if you're not living it, don't talk to me, because that's just rude. I don't mean that. I just basically mean that, honestly, you might think you know, but you have no idea. It's difficult. I literally feel like I'm sleepwalking. I couldn't tell you the last time my husband got to work on time. How he hasn't got the sack yet, I have no idea. But actually, yes, I do, because he works for a very understanding company. Absolutely amazing. And they understand that sometimes he gets no sleep. They understand that in here is sometimes like New Street Station. And then eventually, he's able to get in the car and go. Because he's not one of these men that just gets up and goes. He doesn't leave me with all of it, do you know what I mean? He gets up, and if we don't iron the uniform from the night before, depending on what night we've had, he'll get up, he'll do it. He'll try and do as much as he can to leave me with the absolute minimum before he gets in the car and goes. Because just getting Praise ready alone is hard. I can't tell you the last time we even got to somewhere on time, let alone early. And sometimes we're like, but how did this happen? We were all up from this time, or sometimes me and her will be up from 6 because one of the kids are up. And it's like, how are we still late? Ugh, just always something going on. Always something that I have to stop and attend to. Ugh. I think a lot right now. I've always been a deep thinker anyway, but I think a lot right now. Well, you know what? I'm going to go, because I could talk and talk and talk, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I wouldn't change my baby for the world. The only kind of thing that I'm really missing right now, and I said this to quite a few people, what you need to remember is it's even more sensitive in my case because Praise is my rainbow baby. So we didn't even expect to have Praise. After we lost Destiny, we were so grief-stricken. We were so traumatized. We weren't thinking about having any more children. So to then find out 18 months later, like, oh, we're having a baby. And then having anxiety all the way through the pregnancy. especially at week 23, which is the same week we lost Destiny. I still remember that day. I had to go and they had to listen to the heartbeat that day, and hubby took the morning off to come, and then he had to drop me back home with Jackson and go to work, and I was in bits. All I kept thinking to myself was, I'm 23 weeks pregnant, I'm 23 weeks pregnant. I couldn't even breathe. I was just crying. It was horrible. I had to make so many phone calls that day just to keep my mind from just thinking about the gestation of the pregnancy. And isn't it crazy how when you've gone through something, your mind just kind of zooms in on it. It's like my mind just zoomed in on the fact that I was 23 weeks pregnant, and I could not, for the life of me, do anything to distract myself. Even though I had a toddler to look after, no distraction. My brain just kept saying to me, 23 weeks pregnant? Yeah, this is when your baby died. My brain just kept saying that to me. Horrible time. So to have a pregnancy that I could not enjoy through fear, then the baby gets here. She's absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with her. And it's like, wow, I've got another little princess, and then you can't wait to hear them speak and call you mommy. And I haven't heard that yet. And she's 2. And it's very difficult. And people need to realise this. It hurts. Because I didn't get to hear Destiny call me mommy either. I remember the one time that we've got a song called Mommy and Praise. And I remember the one time her dad was changing her, and I leant over her and I said, Mommy and Praise, Mommy and Praise, which is how the song goes. And she went, Mama and Praise. Because the way she speaks, when she speaks sometimes, it sounds a little bit like she's deaf, and that's another reason I want her ears checked. But every time they come to check her ears, massive meltdown. So yeah, that's something else. But they do need to check inside of her ears. Because if she's not hearing, that could be a reason why she's not communicating. But when she said that, I literally crumbled. Like, I had to fight back tears. Because it's like, oh my gosh. I don't need to pray that Praise doesn't have anxiety. I don't need to pray that she doesn't have Asperger's or any type of autism. I've got a healthy child. She's healthy and she's happy, and that's the main thing. The problem with autism, and like a lot of other things in the world, there's such this big massive taboo, a bit like miscarriage really. Hence why I speak out so much about miscarriage. There's just certain things that people want to keep hush hush. If she's got autism, she's got autism. That's just what it is. I'm not gonna love her any less. She's still my baby. We just have to adjust to our new normal, whatever that is. So yeah, I'm gonna go because it's rare. She's stopped buffing now, she's probably asleep. It's rare that both children are down at the same time. So I'm gonna get some things washed. I've only got a few to do. I did most of it this morning. And I'm going to start the dinner, and then I'm going to put my feet up and do nothing until it's time to wake them up, get them in the pushchair, and then go and get the other 2. So yeah, I hope this video helps somebody. Catch you in the next one.